Yeah, I just fell in for Woody.
Welcome to Fool's Rush to London, your former Swindon Town podcast, now devoted to jumping at the earliest opportunity to talk all things Charlton Athletic. I'm pleased to say joining me tonight is Charlton's newest set of merry men. Of course, we are only joking. Despite Ned sporting his new team's colours, and both Ned and Woody sporting the new designer backgrounds, we are strictly here to talk all things STFC. Let's start with the usual introductions, starting with a man who I must say is looking very slight this week. He's been working very hard. Hello, the much lighter Big Time Ben.
Hey, 5 feet. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Good. Thanks. Looking for my impending move to Charlton anytime soon. It's can't wait.
Getting the fitness in, are you, pal?
Oh yes, get a fitness test coming up. Step
Good
up a level and all that. Ben Garner's made the call, and I've told the club my intentions of moving on.
Judging by the kit he's opted to wear tonight, Mark is set to become the latest English player to move to the Bundesliga. How are you, pal?
I'm very good, Stephen. How are you this evening?
I am very, very well. Thank you for asking. Ned, you appear to have already defected.
Yep.
And you seem very happy about it.
Well, I just wish I could buy a Swindon kit for a tenner, but there we go.
Someone who refuses to defect and is still repping the Fool's Rush in backdrop. How are you, Craig?
Yeah, nice to see you, 5V, to see you. Nice.
Very good indeed. A little ode to something coming a little bit later. Woody, I'm not even going to discuss. I'm still heartbroken about your background.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get a quote for a Charlton thing to come on my Fool's Rush in shirt as well. But Charlton's a shithole, though, to be fair. So I'll be back soon. Are
you suggesting that Charlton's a shithole? You want to come home?
Yeah, that's right.
Excellent. Yeah. And I am absolutely delighted to say that joining us tonight, making his Fool's Rush in debut, you all know him best as Okus Road. We now know him as Nick. How are you, pal? Welcome to the show.
Yeah, doing really well. Not worried about Charlton. The only thing to say about them was one of our best games we ever had there in the old playoffs.
No, absolutely. It is an absolute delight to have you on. I'm buzzing that you finally made it on. Look forward to the nuggets of wisdom you're going to impart on us, and look forward to hearing how excited you are for the upcoming season. Let's start, if we can, guys, by talking transfers. And let's start with players in, because it's been interesting. Normally, there's a relative buzz about players coming in, and somehow, you know, we've signed, I believe it's four players since we last met, and I've never seen a collective, more generally negative fan base than we seem to, the Swindon seem to have about signing 4 players in a week. So if I try and remember them in order, we signed a young forward, Oscar Massey, who is very much along the lines of this sort of statistical based signing. He seems to have a very good pedigree at youth level, and he's one to develop for the future. Then we signed the winger Tyree Shade, who spent last year at Warsaw. And it's interesting about Tyree Shade, because we also signed Reece Devine's the other one, isn't he, that spent a bit of time at Warsaw. And I know Ben's mentioned this before, you do get a gauge a little bit from how previous fans talk about it. And it's fair to say the Warsaw feedback has been a mix of negativity to just outright salty comments. There's been nothing positive really said about either of the 2 players. In between those 2 signings, we also got the goalkeeper on loan from Middlesbrough, Sol Bryn, I believe it's Bryn. So four incomings in the last week. A lot of young players. I know Lindsay did the interview for the Adver recently, where he said experience will come. But yeah, it's been quite a negative feedback online, Ben. What's been your thoughts to the 4 players coming in?
I'm going to put my happy clapper hat on them for a little bit, but I don't think it's necessarily that bad.
Good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, if we look at Reece Devine to start with, now he has come in for some stick from a lot of the Walsall players. He played 8 games for them and was injured quite a lot of the time with it. And he'd been played in a lot of positions. St Johnstone fans were reasonably quite happy with him because he played in the Scottish Premier League. He played some Europa games for them. I thought he did all right. He's young.
He's
he's
also
20.
the one that comes from the Man United academy, isn't he?
Yeah, one from Man United academy. He was at Man City, then he got transferred to Man United through academies. So he's obviously got a little bit about him. I think it's he may not initially start straight away and be our first choice left back. I don't know. He may well be, but I think being 20, I think he's someone who's got plenty of potential. So I'm willing to give him a fair crack, a fair chance. Obviously, you can't tell anything from YouTube videos, but the YouTube videos are, it make him look amazing. But then I also remember some player called Cascal, someone or other, having an amazing YouTube video and got signed for it. The other one, what's his name? Shade. Shade actually, I thought the feedback actually was in pretty good. He was one of the brighter sparks in quite a weak Walsall team. Quite a very attacking player, can play fullback. I think he's going to be our replacement for Egbo, and has all the sort of attributes of an Egbo did, and is very attacking, very pacey and tall. So I think he could do well. And the keepers had quite good reviews. It's a start. I think experienced players come later on in the window when they sort of miss out on Championship, League One moves and stuff. Then we pick them up. I think a lot of the negativity is brought on through who our manager is, and that we've decided to employ from within. And that's not what everyone wanted, especially after waiting 2 weeks. And also we look at Bradford and we look at Walsall, and we now look at Stockport, who have made some good signings recently. And other clubs seem to be making sort of like marquee signings, and we haven't yet. And I think the fan base are getting a bit tired.
Well, that's an interesting point, actually. And Mark, I'll bring you in. Clubs making marquee signings. Dom Telford one was an interesting one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was quite a bizarre signing, to be honest. I mean, to leave Newport, who are sort of perennially up and around the sort of playoff positions, to then sign for Crawley. I don't want to be disrespectful to Crawley, but I can't see them on the basis of one marquee signing being in a position to challenge. And also, Dom Telford's only had one successful season, really, from a goal scoring perspective. And was probably propped up more so by his teammates. And you have to have a good team around you to get the goals, as any good goal scorer will say. Do Crawley have that? I don't know. Judgment's out on that one. I mean, I'm not going to take it away from the fact that he was top of the pile last season as the league's top goal scorer, and anyone would be trying to make a signing of that caliber. I mean, if we'd have signed him, we'd have all been
Do you think Swindon even looked at it?
No. I don't think he fits within the remit of the type of player that we're after. We want young and hungry players. And Ben, just to echo what you were saying with regard to Shade, Devine, Massey, all of those players are attacking players. Okay, if you go by what Scott Lindsay's been saying about playing fast tempo attacking football, Devine and Shade are incredibly quick. Massey is meant to be incredibly quick, and with McCurdy as well, I think the team is has a lot of pace on paper. What that turns out when it comes to filling the holes, I don't know, but yeah.
Okay, certainly interesting stuff. Woody, let's bring you in. What have you made of the acquisition thus far?
Well, I've been quite impressed, to be fair. I think that I don't really understand the kind of comparisons to Bradford and Crawley and all that. And the reason being is because, from my knowledge, from what I know, none of them have actually spent money yet. They're all free transfers they're getting in. So it's, I just think that we need to be careful when we're saying, they're making all of these they're getting all of these transfers in. They're not spending any money. They just got the wages. And that's not to say that we're not going to do it. I think we're jumping on the not we're. There's a lot of fans that aren't, but I think a lot of fans are jumping on the bandwagon too quickly to assume that we don't want to spend any money. That's not the case at all. I think, I can't remember who said it, I think it was Ben that said it, that a lot of players, the more experienced ones, don't come available until a bit further down, because especially if they're tied in with clubs already, they're probably still signed until the end of June. So we don't actually hear anything, whereas youth players tend to start looking around June, which is probably why we've signed what we had. Telford, although it's a surprise signing for Crawley, he probably was signed mid-May anyway. They just couldn't announce it. So it's, yeah, I'm not panicking. I think what we've done is we've recruited where we were really desperate. We did need a left back, because if we didn't get Tomlinson back, the only option is to put Ellis back there, and Scott's already said he wants Ellis in the 8. We needed to replace Kessler Hayden / Barry. We've done that. And we needed to replace Egbo, and we've done that. So whether those guys, all 3 of them will start, and obviously the keeper is the keeper. We needed another keeper. But whether whether those will all be starters come the end of July, who knows? But it's I'm relatively positive. I thought we might have brought in 1 or 2 more last week, if I'm honest, just because, and this is probably the doing of the social media, they kind of really built it up like we were going to have a couple more over the weekend. And I know it's really easy to put the old fishing rod out, but I think that's probably what disappointed a lot of fans, is the fact that they really did kind of, they really did put the fishing rods out this weekend. But if we can sign players over the line this week, what we got Malcolm on Saturday, it'd be quite nice to see a couple of them, especially the younger ones, sporting on Saturday. So yeah, I'm not panicking yet. I'm actually more shocked at the fact that Swindon have made 4 signings before July, if I'm brutally honest, because that's been unheard of for a long time. So there's intention there. And I agree with Ben. I think a lot of the negative feedback is because people are still kind of winding themselves up about Lindsay being appointed, despite, it's really obvious that it went through a recruitment process now. It becomes more and more obvious the more they talk to people within the club. So it's, well, but then you'll always get the people that probably don't even have a theory. They just put one in there for the sake of it to kind of stir the pot. One person in particular. But yeah, it's, I'm not panicking. I'm happy with the signings.
Excellent. Craig and Ned, I'm going to come back to you in just a second on this topic, because I'm very interested to see where you go, particularly on the continual links. I think it's was O'Brien the one that's been reported recently as potentially coming back. So I'd like to come back to you guys. But based on what Woody's saying, Nick, let me bring you in. We've all kind of spoken over the last couple of episodes about our optimism ahead of the season. Obviously, there'll be a full preview show to come. But when you consider this time last year and where we are, what's your take on the negativity, questions about is Clem really wanting to push us forward? We're not signing the same sort of players as Bradford. What's your take on the whole situation as we come into the, we've just started pre-season training?
I think with the players we've signed, the 2 young lads you talked about, are the right wing back, left wing back, or they can play full back or forward. I think get 20-year-olds is how we're going to go to an extent that they want to develop those players. Either they'll do really well for us, and we'll have them for 2 or 3 seasons, and then sell them on and make a good profit out of it. So I think they've been really good signings. And considering that Lindsay and A.K.A, I think that's how you pronounce it, A.K.A, they've only been in the club for, appointed coach and been in the club for only a few weeks, that we've got 4 signings in that time, to me, it's really positive. So I think it's good. And like, I don't know who said it, that the experienced players you want, they're not going to be available until the next couple of weeks. So when I've looked through a list of people that have been released and can get on free transfers, and there are some good experienced players around. So I think once they get that mix in, then we'll have, as Lindsay said, he wants a good balance in the side. So if you get older experienced players, then you've got youngsters that have got plenty of energy. And if he wants to play attacking football, as he's talked about, I think it's a good mix. And so being optimistic, last season, and I blame Garner for this, he cost me a lot of money because I had to turn it 28-1 to win the league. So yeah, I'm optimistic for the future. I think we'll do well.
Good. So the message really to anyone who's already losing their heads week 1 into pre-season training is just calm down a little bit. Let's see how it all all plays out, I think.
Yeah, there's some decent players around for available on free transfers, and that's where we're going. I can't see us spending a mega amount of money bringing players in. I think most of them are going to be free, which you still have to pay probably a signing on fee anyway. So they're not actually free.
Mhm.
So you pay the wage plus a signing on fee. So
Correct.
free transfer isn't actually as it says.
No, absolutely. Craig, let's bring you in then. I mentioned that there are still a few rumours flying around, some more realistic than others. Looking at the squad, where do you think the next signing is coming from? Is it going to be defence? Is it going to be an attack? Midfield, maybe?
Needing all three, don't we? So it's difficult, really. That I don't think one's more important than the other. I think our most important signings will be keeping hold of a couple of the players that we've already got, as in Reed.
Oh no, Craig suffered with a case of the Woodies.
Oh no, I just had it flashed up. It said internet unstable, and I was like, oh no.
You're back now, mate. It's fine.
Okay.
Woody's delighted though. Look.
I might have to move in a sec after I port. I'm probably too far away from the router or something. But yeah, I think it's key that we keep hold of Reed. But I think when it comes to signings this week, I think we do need to step it up a bit. Remember, we're starting a week earlier as well this season because of Qatar. So it's I'm concerned, like a lot of the fan base, but I'm not panicking yet. But I'm hoping to see a few more signings this week, experienced signings, players that have got at least 100 appearances under their belt to get us out of this league. Like Nick was saying, I don't expect us to spend too much money on it, because generally you don't in League Two, especially post-COVID now. But yeah, I think
He's either deep in 4 or he's got another second case of the Woodies.
Woody Wi-Fi.
I think Craig's link has gone down. We'll bring him back in once he's connected up again. Ned, final thoughts from you in terms of the signings in so far and what's to come.
Okay, well, I'm going to have my rose tinted glasses on as well, like Ben. I personally think, for what we're trying to achieve, I think they're fantastic signings. And I've said this to a couple of people. I'm not sure if there's anyone on this pod I've said this to, but I can see a few, obviously looks wise, absolutely not, but I can see a few similarities between how we, when we got Kevin Horlock. So we got him from West Ham, if I'm not mistaken. We got him from a top level team, been out, had a few games under his belt, comes to us, a bit of a raw talent, but it's got the all the ability there. Sorry, we've just got a puppy. It's just yelping in the background. Okay, okay, thank you. Sorry.
Ever the
Ned,
professional.
hold up, Ned. Need to see the puppy now. Show us a puppy.
Oh,
The virtual background's having none of it.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Little pug. There we go. So sorry. But yeah, I see the similarities. Like, I can see him going on from us and being successful. He is brilliant. I've seen him play a couple of times, and for me, he's been the most dangerous player on the pitch whenever I've seen him play. For them on the pitch when I've seen him play. I really, really like Tyree Shade.
You were very happy on our WhatsApp group.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A lot of these fans, they just don't know. If they'd never heard of him before, oh, he's shit. He's rubbish. What the hell are we playing at? Tyree Shade for me is an absolutely fantastic signing, and we've got so much to look forward to watching him play this season. Divine, comes from a good pedigree. We've got our team in place, statistical, the coaching staff, all of the you know, all the fitness
Analysts.
and you know, yeah, all the analysts and stuff. We've got the whole thing in place. I mean, just because, you know, Warsaw didn't bring the best out of him for the 8 games, doesn't mean that he's not going to go on to be, you know, to have a decent career. So, you know, we've all had a look at the clips on YouTube. You know, he likes to get down the wing. He likes to cross the ball in the box. You know, I'm excited to see him play. There's no reason why he's not going to be decent for us this season. I'm very, very happy with the loan signings that we've signed. I'm very happy. I mean, I'm not going to expect anything from Matty. I think he's going to be a bit like, you know, my friend. What's his face? I always forget his name. The striker. Fuck's sake. What's his name?
Parsons.
Parsons. I think he's going to be like a bit part player like
I
Parsons.
love the fact that you ring him up every week and you can never remember his name.
Oh, bless
But
him.
I
think
genuinely
Paul
am
should
excited.
sponsor him this season, just so you remember.
I think he
his
should be
name.
the one to never to remember.
I still forget. I'll go in as one of the sponsors around the table. It's like, who is it we're sponsoring? Can I have a photo with our bloke that we've sponsored, whoever he is?
You'll
Oh
give him
my
his
God.
your coat just to say, "Oh, hang up for me, please, mate."
Yeah. Can I have a pint of lager, please? Is that some peanuts whilst you're at it?
Well, whilst waiting for this player to turn up.
Imagine
You
that.
feel we may have digressed somewhat.
Yeah, sorry,
Absolutely.
Ned, I interrupted you.
Standard.
No,
Oh,
not at all.
there's-
That's my fault. That's my fault. But no, I'm buzzing for our recruitment so far. As Nick said, it's only been a couple of weeks, so you know we've got 4 players in. You know, the keeper should be either. I can't imagine he would be brought in unless they think he's going to be number 1. But we've got 2 decent keepers now, apparently. You know, there's a good nucleus there. As long as we can hold on to our players that we've currently got, like Reed, for example. Please, for the love of God, I'll give you 150 grand myself. Don't fucking sell him.
I'm clearly paying you guys far too much money. If Ned's making statements like that.
Oh no, I'm happily remortgage our house. We cannot get rid of Payne.
Well, let's divert attention that way then, and talk about potential outgoings. So the rumours are, well, basically everybody to Charlton, which Ned Stogg's very unhappy about. So the realistic ones were it sounds like Reed to Charlton, Payne to Sheffield Wednesday, McCurdy to just about everybody. Obviously Jojo's gone, Egbo's gone, the work experience analyst kid's gone. Rumours on Twitter is the chip van's gone, the programs have gone.
T-Lady,
yeah, that was one as well.
Ellis, I read today as well. Charlton after
Yeah.
Ellis. I read that this morning.
See, I see now. Personally, I don't see it. I don't see.
No, I
Ellis
don't
going.
see that. I don't see that. But that's
But
what
what do we think of all the various rumours? Obviously, the Johnny Williams situation needs to be discussed as well. Who is and isn't going to stay, in your opinion? You know, so let's go through them. Reed to Charlton. Do we see it happening?
No.
Nick's saying no. Woody's saying no. Ben's saying no. So does that mean he's staying?
For the right
or is he
amount of
going
cash.
elsewhere?
For the right amount of cash, he's on his way.
Exactly.
So I was talking to a Charlton podcast earlier this week, and they said they were asking me what it would take for Charlton to bring in the likes of Reed and McCurdy. And we put Reed to one side for a moment, and he asked me, if we were to offer DJ and Davison for McCurdy, would you take it? Now, I thought about it, and then I said yes. Would you guys say that was a good deal?
With cash.
Cash as well?
Cash as
Two
well.
players.
Cash
With
as
Greedy
well.
bastard.
With cash. I mean, DJ has not been a hit there. He's not been that popular. He's all right. They don't really consider him. And every time I've spoken to one in the past, we'll go, "Oh, we'll give you DJ. You can have DJ." He's not hit the levels where hero status is there, and no is Davison. So basically, they're giving us 2 of their duds. They think they're written off.
Yeah, but again,
arguably our best player.
But the thing you've got to say there, and I think it links into what Ned was saying, and equally into what I think it was Mark was saying. Yes, they may not have excelled at Charlton, but that's not necessarily the player's fault.
No,
we know what both of them are capable of, because I know obviously Woody was probably our biggest fan of Davison last season. Lauded him at every opportunity. Loads of fans absolutely gutted when DJ left.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
I totally agree, but because the experience DJ has had over there, will he come back the same player? Will his confidence levels be back to where he was? Because he was a confident boy last time. He just missed it. He was missing in product. He was going to Charlton to finish, to become the better player that he was supposed to be, and he's not done it. You know, what sort of player is he now? I don't know. I'd still want a best part of 100 grand if they're going to offer that deal. I want McCurdy, because McCurdy is McCurdy. He scares defence.
You want DJ Davison and 100 grand?
Yeah,
for McCurdy.
McCurdy's that important. Yeah.
Okay. But on the original question, we're pretty much saying Reed isn't going. Is that the general consensus?
Yeah, unless they offer, or unless anybody offers a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay. So I know that
you know.
I know that yourself and Ben, I think it was, have discussed this a couple of times on the WhatsApp group, and you two have very different valuations on what we think an acceptable offer is.
Yeah.
So, Mark, let's hear from you first. On what basis do you put your figure on what Swindon will accept?
You only have to look at the depressed transfer values of players in League One and League Two, and the fact that the player himself has 1 year left on his contract, £150,000. Although people are saying that's a ridiculously low amount of money, I don't see anybody paying any more than that. I really don't. I just who is spending that kind of money on transfers in the bottom two divisions?
And on the flip side, Ben?
If you came to me and said you could have Louis Reed for 1 season only for 150 grand, I'd bite your hand off. I would pay that 150 grand going, I have Louis Reed for 150 grand and wave him away next season for nothing. I'd take that. I would take that.
The club won't do that.
I'd let him go for nothing. I'd let him go. Especially after we've just had some money in, or some drip feed or whatever it is for Twine. I think I don't think we're in a position.
Let's park the Twine stuff to one side for the moment.
I don't think we take 150 grand at all.
I think when it comes to the Louis Reed situation, the club can make a real statement for what they're going to be, what the transfer policy is going to be for the next few years to the fans. Would they cave in and take between 150 and 250,000 for him now and pretty much hamper our bid to go up this season? Or will they hold tight, let him go and let him stay with us and contribute towards what will hopefully be a promotion season and let him go for a free at the end? I get what you're saying, Mark, and I think that what you're saying is probably what the club will go with, but it won't go down well with the fan base if we let him go for 150,000. It goes back to the days of the 90s and everything, when and even the noughties, when we would let our players go at cut price figures, like we did with Sam Parkin and people like that.
Is there a view that he stays, we have a very good start to the season, and it's reviewed in January?
Yeah, I don't see why that's not unfeasible at all. I mean, conversely, we could be having not quite a good a season, and then the situation, if somebody comes in with an offer at that point, when we're likely then to lose the player at the end of the season, if we're not looking likely to be in the promotion next, the club will accept pretty much any cash they could get in January.
Yeah.
What do you think, Nick?
I think what the club have got to look at is it's all been talk already that we've got to get out of this league this season, and they need to hold on to Reed for this season because he's definitely key to helping us get out of this league. If he goes for what's considered a low sum, you're going to start losing supporters. You're going to start losing the faith in the club. So I would say if ideally keep him, then if we get into League One, then we're in a good position to offer him a better contract in League One, and there's a chance he'll stay with us. Or his stock's gone up further, and then we can get a real good amount of money for him. But I think we're in danger of letting good players go, and it sounds like Payne's, from what you read, he's not going to stay. And the concern on Payne going is best mates Payne McCurdy. Where does that leave McCurdy's head? Is he going to want to go? Because obviously they were, of the old bromance, and that would be my worry that we lose McCurdy as well.
Well, let's talk Payne next then. And Ned, I'll come to you as we didn't really let you jump in on the Reed debate.
Unbelievable.
Payne to Wednesday seems the most spoken about destination. Your thoughts on that? Is that going to happen?
Probably. I mean, they're not splashing the cash as such, but they've certainly, with their attendances, they've certainly got a budget to hand out some big wages to players, and he's certainly good enough to go there. He's lost as far as I'm concerned. Whether it be Sheffield Wednesday, whether it be someone else, he ain't going to sign for us. He's not going to, the charitable extra year was last year, wasn't it? But unless we chuck a load of money. But the thing is, the danger with that, if you chuck a load of money at one of the players, then a lot of them are going to be unhappy because they're like, well, if he gets paid that much, I want to get paid that much. So it's not worth keeping him. I think Payne's more replaceable than Reed. I think he's more replaceable than McCurdy. But
and to Nick's point, then, do you think if Payne is to leave, as you seem to be of the belief he is, where does that leave McCurdy?
I mean, it's so dodgy, isn't it? It is a concern, and it's not.
He isn't going to be going north. We know that. We know he doesn't want to go north. He wants to stay near, as close to London as possible. We know that.
Oh, you're talking about McCurdy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see him going to Charlton. I can't see him going to Millwall. I can't see him going to other London teams.
So unless Chelsea come in with the big bucks, you're saying?
But the thing is, though, he's proper Chelsea. There's no way on this planet he would sign for Millwall. No chance. I don't care what anyone says. Chelsea and Millwall fucking hate each other. So there's no chance. It's like, one of us signing for Oxford. It's just not going to happen. I mean, maybe someone like
I do just need to have a double check of Woody's CV because I do think there may be a reference in there somewhere.
Abingdon's all right. All right, but Oxford.
Home of May Taylor, Abingdon. We can be let off for that.
But I mean, I can't see him going to one of those teams. But someone like Reading, if they, I know that they're struggling financially at the moment, but if they sort of made the pathway,
can he make that jump? Do you think? Again, we were talking about Dom Telford having the one good year in League Two, and now all of a sudden we're talking McCurdy, who he's been thrown about a little bit in recent years. He had an exceptional year last year, but are we realistically saying someone like Reading is an actual destination for him?
Well, it could be. It could be. I mean, but this is why I'm more than happy for him to be sold for, $1 million or whatever, 900,000. More than happy for him to go. As you say, he's currently a one-season wonder, isn't he? So I'm more than happy for him to go. And also, as Nick pointed out, with Payne not here, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I mean, I know that Lindsay was. He was liaison, should we say, between him and Garner. So you can argue that they've got a good relationship already, but it's just without his best mate, he's gone. He's had troubles before. Is he going to have troubles now?
Well,
I didn't even think about that point before.
Yeah, to come in there, I think with McCurdy, whoever, if he does go, or if he's likely to be looked at, he's a big risk for any team to sign him. And we got the best out of him that anybody's got. And we know he's a loose cannon. And, from a fan's point of view, he's brilliant because he's a wind-up merchant. He's done well for us, scored a lot of goals. But if he leaves, is he going to do it somewhere else? And is he going to, come off the rails, not have the right management, not let him be as he's been with us. The clown at times, the dressing up, and all the stuff that goes with it. Massive risk if anybody signs McCurdy.
Okay. Woody, let's talk Johnny Williams, World Cup year, of course. Do you think, and I'm actually personally fairly optimistic on this. I don't know if you are as well, especially when you're hearing from the Wales camp things like Gareth Bale's happy to go and sign for Cardiff just to play in the build up to the World Cup. That's all these sort of international squad players are thinking about at the moment. So for me, I think he will stay.
Yeah, I think John. A bit of feedback there. I think Johnny Williams is probably one of our safest ones, to be totally honest. I think he's kind of, without sounding cheesy, but sounding cheesy, I think he's kind of found a home for the moment. I think he's quite happy. He's quite happy where he is. I think he's because he lives out Calmway as well, doesn't he? And he's a bit of a poster boy for us as well at the moment. He's kind of everywhere, isn't he? And
always on the floor.
Yeah. But he's not always on the floor. He gets kicks to shreds, the poor guy. But
it's not what you were saying at times last season, Woody.
Hey, no. I think you need to retract the videos. I never said that Johnny Williams was always on the floor. That was one thing I always stuck by, because I know for a fact that he walks off that pitch bruised and battered every game. That's from inside info. Anyway, Johnny, in the know. Fooled you lot though many times this week.
Just to point out that the only person that actually got one right was me when I said that on one tweet that we'll have a new manager with 3 new players by the end of the week.
You did get that right.
You did. Well, you got 4 though. So I think Johnny Williams is a safe one. McCurdy's not going anywhere, because he's probably going to now be one of the highest paid players of the club. He's a hero. As Nick said, it's going to be a risk for anybody to take on McCurdy, because he is young, but he's not young. Reed, don't see. I think the fact that he's only got a year left on his contract is probably going to play to our disadvantage, because players won't buy Reed for the quality he is now. They're buying for the quality that he will become. Because I still stand by my point. He's a fantastic player, but in League One he'll get found out. And I've said that a couple of times. I think in League One he'll be good, but he won't be as effective as what he is in League Two at the moment. He will be in years to come. He'll make his way up. I have no doubt that he'll be, high-end Championship someday. But I think teams that keep a track on him won't pay that much money for him now. If we go anything higher than about 150, 200k, I reckon they'll say, sod it, we'll wait until next year when you don't go up, potentially, and then he wants to leave anyway. I think just bearing in mind the Bosman ruling as well. So it's I think I can't see him going. And sorry, just because I was listening to everybody else. Who was the other one we were talking about? Payne. Payne's gone. Yeah, I'm with Ned. Payne's gone. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sheffield Wednesday, but he's gone. And to be fair, we can't cash in on him, can we? He's out of contract, isn't he?
Really? Right.
Yeah, he's just out of contract. Yeah, so sod it. Let's take him off the wage bill. I think Lincoln have finished paying their proportion now. So let's just take him off the wage bill. And fair play to him. He was on a freebie last year. He was training and all that, and he's been a hell of a servant. But he could probably do better than League Two. Well, he could do better than League Two. So fair play to him. Wish him all. I don't have any qualms if he wants to push himself higher.
Okay. Is there anyone else currently contracted to the club that anyone thinks will leave?
Ellis.
You think he will?
I'm a little bit worried about Ellis, because I'm hearing murmurs now that just like small little things, because he had a very good season last year, and I think we'll get money for him, but if he goes, but I think I don't know why. It just seems like one of those that you don't want to think just because he's been here. I think because he's been here a long time, we all think he's going to stay. I do wonder, because I still think Lindsay might make him and Baldry the two captains.
Well, I was going to say, is he going to be installed as captain?
Yeah, and I just wonder, maybe bringing in the left back hopefully means that Ellis will play in the position he favours. He wants to play in that midfield role. That might keep him at the club, and he does love the club. But again, kind of mid-20s in the Ellis. So
Yeah.
if a big club comes to you, you don't even need to hand a transfer request in. Really, you just have to say, "Come on, guys! Like, I want to push up. I could, he's." Yeah, and I actually think he'd be quite hard to replace as well if we get the same Ellis we had last season. But yeah, I wouldn't be. He's the one I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't a Swindon player at the end of the preseason. As much as it pains me to say it, because I think he's a lot better than people think he is.
Yeah.
Okay, quick fire then. Literally, Ben, one word answer.
Oh, fuck.
How between now and is Melksham on Saturday? Yeah,
Yes.
Between now and the time Melksham kicks off on Saturday, how many players are Swindon bringing in this week, Ben?
2.
Mark?
3.
So is that 2 or 3?
3.
Three.
3.
Ned?
I give more than one word.
No. Okay, so
4.
is his answer.
Um,
4. Okay. Nick?
3.
3. Woody?
4.
4. Okay. Craig?
Yeah, I'll go 4 as well.
Wow, some very optimistic predictions. I like it. Let's have a quick word then, if we can, on the fixture release. Harrogate away, as good a place to start as any. Everyone buzzing with that? I know, Woody, you always like an away trip opening day.
Yeah, I think it's not a bad one to go to. It's not a bad journey considering how far away it is. It's just their ground's weird. And the only thing I don't like about it being Harrogate is the fact that it's such a small ground, and we take so many on the first game. You know what I mean? And it just feels like I can't remember how many we took up there, 600, I think it was, and we sold out. It would have been nicer to have a bigger, like Scunthorpe. But like I said, I know we won't be going to Scunthorpe, and I said I wouldn't want to do that again. But because it's a decent sized ground, we could take a lot with us.
Mhm.
And the same with Carlisle, wasn't it? Many years ago. But at the end of the day, I said I wanted an away trip, and we've got one. And I don't think I can go. I'm happy with it, and I think more importantly, we get some of the crappy away games out of the way early, like with the pitch situations, and I think Carlisle we got early as well. So before
13th of August.
Before their pitches get all crap and ruined by winter weather.
Well, before Carlisle away, Craig, we got Salford at home in the first home league game of the season, a week after Harrogate. Good opening home game.
It'll be a good test to see where we are. They're obviously going to spend the money, aren't they, and everything. So I think it would be a good test to see where we are. I mean, like I said on the last pod, I was just looking at whenever my days off fall on a Saturday, but there's some quite decent away fixtures that are relatively close to us who live in Swindon that are on a Saturday. So I'm looking at like Warsaw away in January, and Orient away as well. Orient's always a good away day, so I'm glad that that's falling on a Saturday as well. I mean, it's and Wimbledon as well. That'll be a good one. A new ground to tick off for a lot of people as well, for all of us really, because they moved into their ground last season, wasn't it? It looks all right. I'm happy with it. I'm going to go to a few away games and just see how it goes.
And then Mark, everyone loves a cup draw. So the excitement was building, and for about the 759th time in the last 12 months, we got Walsall.
Yeah, well, Walsall away in the Carabao Cup first round. I mean, to be fair, at least it's a nice, easy away journey to get to. It could have been one of the far-flung reaches of the country. And also, after our Fantastic results there last season. I kind of feel that, you know, it's a nice tie to have. I mean, it could have been a tricky one. We could have had, you know, picked up Stockport away, or, you know, something along those lines where, you know, they've just come up after having a fantastic season and you're never quite sure what you're going to get. But riding on the crest of a wave, yeah, it'll be a nice early test, and hopefully we can get to the second round.
And of course, having just signed a couple of players who played for them last season, it's going to add a bit of extra spice to it as well. Just flicking through the fixture list, Nick, a trip to the seaside awaits on September 24th with a trip to Grimsby. I'm sure there'll be many looking at that as a potential trip to go to. Obviously, we've spoken, and I don't want to go in depth on your personal situation, but everyone knows you're obviously recovering from some health issues of late. What's the first fixture you were telling us off camera that you're looking to get to this year?
Stockport. Definitely want to go to that. Grimsby, I've been there on a Tuesday night to Grimsby, and actually that is one of the ground's not fantastic, but the setup there for the away supporters is really, really good. They've got, I don't know if they've still got it, they've got a good bar there. It's full of pendant scarves from other teams. The stewards were absolutely spot on, really, really good. You could chat with them, really friendly, no nonsense. Yeah, and I mean, we did that straight there and back on the Tuesday night. The fact that I think it's the first time they'd scored more than 2 goals in a game for Christ knows how long, and we got beat. I think it's 3-1. But you know, that's typical Swindon. So, but I don't think I'll be doing Grimsby again. Yeah, there's a couple of games that I say it'd be good to see Wimbledon in their new ground, because where they were before, I went there a few seasons ago, and you couldn't even see the touchline from the side stand. And it was a terrible view. So Wimbledon definitely, say Stockport definitely, and not too many more grounds that I haven't been to. Gillingham, I haven't been there. Don't know if I fancy that one, but I'll see a bit nearer the time. They're not exactly our favourite team, are they?
No, you don't like the away end as well. It's raw.
Yeah.
Scaffolding.
Yeah. So I might give that a miss.
Ned, the festive fixtures look interesting. So Boxing Day, Walsall at home. Now, I might have the dates slightly skewed, but was the big win at Walsall not also a festive fixture last season?
Jesus Christ. I can't even remember our players' names. You're trying to get me to remember. Jesus Christ.
Let's see if this does any better then. So, obviously, like I say, December 26th, Walsall at home. December 29th, though, Northampton away. And our fans do enjoy a trip to Northampton, don't they?
Yeah, that's a nice one. I think Northampton aren't going to do as well this year as they did last year. So hopefully that should be, you know, a Merry Christmas for the Swindon fans.
Yeah.
As has been well
By the
documented.
way, Walsall was in February.
Was it really? Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was a lot earlier than that.
Oh, festive February.
Festive February. Yeah. When I meant festive, I obviously meant Valentine's Day.
That's it, of course, naturally. Can I just answer 2 of your questions from before? Because you didn't ask me. Because you said about which player do we think is not going to be here, and I was going to say Rob Hunt.
Yeah, forgot about Rob Hunt. Bless him.
I don't think Rob Hunt's going to be here by the start of the season.
You think he'll go to Orient?
I don't know where he'll go, but I mean, Orient's as good a shout as any, really, isn't it? With Richie Wellens, for sure. They've got rid of a few players.
Didn't Scott Lindsay say as much in Talk of the Town that Rob Hunt is pretty much gone?
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
It's a bit annoying, really, because like the spine of our team is pretty much gone from last season. You know what I mean? We've lost Conroy, we're losing Hunt, and you know, possibly losing Reed. And yeah, it's just a bit sad, really. You know, I was hoping that we wouldn't have this big sort of turnover of players again this season, but hey ho.
Yeah,
I mean, we're trying to get numb to it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say about Hunt going is, you know, the emphasis this year is going to be a lot more on attacking, and I guess that's where Rob Hunt falls down, isn't it? Because he's the the ever steady fullback rather than wing back, isn't he? So
he's versatile, isn't he? He can fill in as and when. So yeah.
But then I think it's worth noting though, Craig, and I know we're talking about a side being dismantled, but I think that a heavy sense of realism needs to be taken into account that when you finish in the playoff positions and statistically have, one of the best teams, in fact, probably the best team on paper, and you don't achieve promotion, the downside of that is it's almost impossible to keep that squad together. That is just unfortunate, and we all hate it as fans, but we've been here before.
Yeah.
And just based on everything that's been said so far, take the signings that we've made, regardless of whether people are moaning about them as signings they've never heard of, or they've been discarded by Premier League clubs or whatever, they're good players. They are good, but you can tell that the work's gone in. So every reason to be optimistic. Even if we have to replace everybody in the squad, I think we'll do it the right way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's fair point, mate. Yeah.
Ned, you said there was a second question you wanted to answer.
Oh yeah, and well, it wasn't strictly an answer, but it was something that I heard. I'm not sure if everyone heard it on the Monday night panel earlier this evening,
Okay.
and that was.
This is why we record so late, so we can steal all their topics and discuss them.
Hey, Rob Angus saying that the players that Di Michele brought through today, so there's at least 2 players already that looks like they could be signed. So which is why I was going to plump for 4 players signed this week, because there's obviously already a couple, at least 2, potentially through the door. But
Woody's looking very. Woody looks like he's got something he'd like to say, but he knows he can't.
5 p.m.
I've just wondered. Yeah, no, 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
I was just wondering if actually I shouldn't say that. I'm trying to think of the women's team in the County Ground gym tomorrow, and I'll try and get there a little bit earlier. just to see who's hanging around.
Yeah, indeed. Let's just finish a quick flick through. So the Valentine, the lovely Valentine's trip to Sutton away on Valentine's Day. I'm sure there'll be many happy couples making that journey. And we conclude the season with a home game to Crawley. So it could be a title shootout between whoever Swindon's all firing centre forward and championship chasing Crawley Town's Don Telford battling it out on the final day of the season at the County Ground. Obviously, postponements and stuff permitting. But yeah, I think all in all, obviously the cliche is you have to play everyone regardless. But I think Woody made a very good point. We get a lot of the more tiresome or difficult, or however you want to describe them, away trips out the way seemingly quite early, which is nice. And there are Leyton Orient at home in August, Salford at home in August. There's some decent home games there. Newport at home mid-September as well. There's some decent home games to get the fans excited early doors, I think. So yeah, let's move on to our special treat for this evening, and I get to take a little break from hosting duties now because Craig, you have prepared this week's quiz for us.
Yeah, I have. Well, when Garner left, I sort of, being the geek that I am, I started looking at previous managers, how long they've been at the club and win percentages and stuff like that. So I thought to continue our play your cards right, we'll look at Swindon Town past managers, play your cards right on win percentages. So basically same as how we've played it before. I'll start off with a manager, his win percentage, and then we'll go on to the next one, and you've got to decide whether it's higher or lower and guess the percentage roughly within it. So
now, before I put my feet up completely, are you keeping score as well, or do you actually need me to do that?
I'll keep score, mate. You're having a break, mate, a well-deserved one. So yeah, I've got my pad all ready, mate. So you know me, I'm always prepared. So but yeah. But this one's got a slight twist. So the guys on the panel don't know this. I spoke to Fifey about this earlier. The top 2 out of the panel tonight will the top scorers will play each other in like a playoff. What it will be, and we're never shy to steal other ideas off of other shows.
Every idea is unique if you've developed it slightly.
Yeah.
So we are going to do as the final of this quiz. We're going to do fighting talks, defend the indefensible, and I've got statements for every single one of you that you will have to agree the fuck out of, that you normally wouldn't. You'd be the total opposite. So on fighting talk, it'll be like the two people in the final. They'll be given a statement, and it's normally something that they would disagree with, but they've got to agree with it and explain why.
So out of interest, did you prepare them for other regular panelists as well that haven't made it on tonight?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So for anyone who's not familiar with fighting talk, could you maybe give us what you would have given Rich if he'd have won?
Yeah. So Rich is defend the indefensible, and you have 30 seconds to come up with your reasons why. So Rich would be, in order for Swindon to get promoted this season, we need to shithouse our way and play Route 1 football like under Sheridan. And then he would have to defend that statement, and whoever out of the two comes up with the best defense of the indefensible wins the quiz.
I'm very excited. I want to finish in the top two just to defend the indefensible.
I'm up for that.
You won't fight me once you realise what you have to defend, mate. Trust me.
As long as you're not going to make me slate my own podcast, I'm fine.
Actually, I won't give you 30 seconds because I haven't got a stopwatch. So you just defend it for however long you want. But okay, let's get it started then, guys. If you're all ready.
Ready.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with Andy King and his second spell at the club, which was from December 2001 to September 2005. His win percentage was 36.8%. The next manager is Maurice Malpass.
That's easy.
He was at the club from January 2008 to November 2008, higher or lower. And you can go to like the nearest percentage. So you could say like 36.9 or 36.7 if need be. If people start becoming a smart ass by saying 36.85, you're expelled from the quiz.
So you're saying no shit housing from Ben this week?
Yeah, exactly. So I'll just repeat that again. So Andy King's was 36.8%, higher or lower.
Nick's taking it serious.
We'll start with you, Fifey.
Well, it's going to be lower because he was fucking awful. I'm going to guess 33.7.
Okay, Ned.
Oh, this is going to confuse me because you're doing a completely different order to my screen.
Oh yeah.
Right. I will go with higher, and I'll go 41%.
Okay.
Okay, Ben.
I'm going higher slightly because he was there for a shorter time and we were mid-table, lower half when he left.
Did you just randomly start singing mid-table?
Yes.
Mid-table.
37.1.
Okay, Mark, you're next, mate.
Oh, this is tricky.
I love how alike you and Ned are. You even make the same grunts on a slightly difficult question.
I'm going to go 31.7%.
Oh, you thought he was worse than I did.
Bloody hell.
Okay, Woody, you're up next, mate.
The draws were the issue that time. But still lower. I'm going to go 31%.
Okay, and finally, last but not least, Nick.
I'll go 29.5.
Nick's gone low.
I originally wanted to say 18%.
Nick sacked him. Nick was the one that sacked him.
Nick, incidentally, when was your first game? What was your first game?
I honestly can't remember, but I started about 1967 would have been my first game. But I have absolutely no idea.
Did you make it to Wembley?
Yeah. I mean, that's the team I can name, the Wembley team, the League Cup winning side. I've seen all 6 Wembley games.
So there was an excellent part.
I couldn't name the other teams off the top of my head, but the League Cup winning side I can. I've told my kids today I can't name that side. It's the day to put me in a home.
So incidentally, Nick actually asked if I would call him just to go through a few bits before he would come on, and he told me that exact story, and I said that's quality. That's exactly the sort of content we're looking for.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. We can do a pod just on like that day one day. Yeah. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Did we fill enough time for you to do the maths there, Craig?
Yeah, just about. So Fifey, Mark, Woody, and Nick, you were all right. It was lower. And Woody was spot on. It was 31%.
Oh, what?
Bonus points.
It's in there. To be fair, I know my own manager. I know my own win statistics. I might be all right in this one.
So nice easy.
85.
So nice easy one now. So Morris Milepass, 31%. Next one is Richie Wellens, higher or lower. And we'll start with Nick.
That's got to be higher. I would say 49.
Okay. Woody?
Yeah, he was pretty much every other game, so I'd say higher. 48.
Okay. Mark?
I'm going to go higher, but 39%.
Okay. And Ben?
I get what Mark's thinking, because the following season we didn't start too well. But I'm going on, still going 40s because we were amazing. 41.
2% difference to me.
Ned?
I'm not trying to shithouse, but I'm gonna go 47. I promise I'm not trying to shithouse, but I think that's about right. That sounds about right.
And Fifey?
Do you know what? I was so sure it was going to be significantly higher, but I think I've been swayed listening to these guys, so I'm going to go 43.5%.
8.5?
Yes.
Does that mean you've been kicked out?
Yeah.
No, Craig said I could go to 1 decimal place.
Yes, yeah, you
okay,
can.
right.
Yeah.
So when you lot want to start paying attention to what's going on your own podcast.
And also, Ned, 4 people went by a point percentage in the last question. So. Okay, so obviously, it was higher with Richie Wellens, and the percentage was 44.4%. So you all got that right, and I believe that makes Fifey with the bonus point.
Well done, mate.
Qualify him.
Okay, so next up is David Flitcroft. He was manager from June 2017 to March 2018. Higher or lower than 44.4%?
I'm going to go, me?
Sorry, I'll start with you then, Fifey, yeah.
I'm going to go lower. Not by much, though. 42.8%.
Okay, Ned?
I'm going to say higher. I'm going to say 46%.
Okay, Ben?
We were just up, so we were 8th, weren't we? 43.
And Mark?
40% on the nose.
On the nosy.
Woody?
See, I think it's actually quite a bit higher.
Okay.
He didn't. I'm going by how many games I remember drawing. I think it's higher, and I'm going to go 54%.
You think he won over half his games?
Yeah,
We won a lot
Nick?
away from home, but at home we were terrible.
but we didn't draw many. It's the draws. It's the draws that do
Yeah.
the issue.
And Nick?
I'll go lower, 39.
Lower and 39. Okay, so we said from Richie Wellens, 44.4%. David Flitcroft, higher or lower? It was higher, 50% on the nose.
50%. Well done, Woody.
I was
Well,
surprised when I saw that.
Still
Looks like
excellent.
Woody will be defending the indefensible.
Port
Just
Vale
thinking
fans will love that. They love that.
Woody's regretting being good at this one already.
So Woody and Ned get points, and Ned gets the bonus point for being
Well done,
closest.
Ned.
Well done, Ned.
Do I? Oh, hey! After you saying that, I don't want to win now.
Right, so next up, we're going a bit back in time. Glenn Hoddle, manager from April 1991 to July 1993. Higher or lower than David Flitcroft's 50%? And we'll start with Ben this time.
47.3.
47.
0.3.
0.3. I would put a point in there.
Did you say 47.3, Ben?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Okay. Mark next.
41.7%.
1.7. Woody?
Lower 41.
Nick?
I'll go higher, 52.
Oh, don't do this to me, Nick.
That's screwed. That's definitely screwed Fife's thinking, that has.
Sake. I was still wearing nappies. Fuck.
Come on, Fife.
Okay, I'll go lower. 48.7%.
Okay, and finally Ned.
I'm gonna. I mean, I was grimacing the whole way through because I thought it was higher as well. So thank you, Nick. I'm gonna say higher, and I'm gonna say 50. I can't. What do you say again, Nick? 50.
52.
52. I'll go.
Ned's
53.
about to shit out of this.
53, did you say, Ned?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it was like higher or lower than David Flitcroft's 50%, and it was lower. Glenn Hoddle's was 42.5%. So Fife, Ben, Mark, and Woody get the points, and the nearest one, I believe, is Mark. Yeah, Mark gets the bonus point.
It was that first season, wasn't it? When he took us.
Yeah, he finished 8th first season, and then the second season we went up. That's why I went 43.
Okay, so next up, going back even further.
I wasn't even alive.
Yeah, we've got Ozzy Ardiles, who was manager from July 1989 to March 1991.
I was alive.
Higher or lower than Glenn Hoddle's 42.5%? And we'll start this time with Mark.
Lower. 40.5%.
40.5. Woody?
I think this has come up in a quiz I've done before. And I
That's
was
not
really
an answer
shocked.
to this question.
So I was really shocked. So I think it's lower, and I want to say 39%.
Okay, Nick.
That was mine. I'll go 39.5.
39.5.
Go on,
Welcome
Nick.
to the pod.
Nick's got into the spirit of this pod. Don't take any prisoners.
Yeah.
5 feet.
Well, I'm going to have to go lower, aren't I? What did Woody say?
39 on the
I'll go
dot.
38.
Sorry,
I'll go 38 on the nose.
38 on the nose. Okay.
Just so Ben can shit house and go 38.5.
Oh, reverse psychology. He was thinking that, now he's going to go somewhere else.
Go on in, Ned.
What was Hoddle 44?
42.5.
Oh, 42. I reckon it's just below, so I'll go 41.
41. And finally, Ben.
Right, I was actually going to say 38.5 before 5 you said that, but I'm going to go 37.9.
Oh, you shithouse!
I
I swear to God.
was going to
I'll bring it
slightly
down.
shithouse, but I'm going to majorly shithouse instead.
This is what I love about these games. We just shit house on each other all the time, don't we? Brilliant. Okay then. So we
If he wins this, I'm going to be fucking fuming.
So obviously it was lower than Glenn Hoddle's 42.5%. So you all got 1 point each. And the actual percentage for Aussie Ardiles was 37.7%. So yeah, so Ben gets the bonus point.
Bastard.
Yeah, he had a terrible. We nearly got relegated, didn't he, before he left? So
Yeah, that second season, it wasn't too good, was it? So
Being screwed over on my own podcast.
you said you was looking forward to this, Fifey.
I still want to win, though. I still want to win.
Okay, so we had Aussie Ardiles on 37.7%. The next manager is Mark Cooper, who was manager from July 2013 to October 2015. Higher or lower than Aussie Ardiles?
Oh, who's
We'll
going to
Going
start?
first.
with Woody.
Higher. 41.
41%. Nick.
48.
48.
I had a feeling it was going to be significantly higher for some reason, and I was thinking around the 48 as well, Nick. 47.
Ned.
Smack bang in the middle, 47.5.
No, 44.
44. Ben.
Fuck off, Ben.
Right, he went a long time without a win before he was sacked, didn't he? A long time.
That's that most of his clubs, though.
Yeah, I know. But it was really good, and then just plummeted. Lingy kept us up.
No, one draw.
I'm going slightly higher at 38.5.
Shame we didn't do that last time.
I know.
And finally, Mark.
Oh, I was torn with this one because I thought it was in the late 30s.
38.4.
38.4, Mark. It's laid on there for you, mate.
I'm thinking it's pretty much 38.6.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with that, 38.6.
Woody loves it.
Okay, so higher or lower than Aussie Ardiles is 37.7 for Mark Cooper. You're all right to go higher. And the percentage was 41.6.
Really?
So yeah, Woody gets the bonus point.
Woody's going to be in that final that he
Really
doesn't want to
final,
be in.
Well done, Woodrow.
Can I just also point out, probably the second most unpopular manager in my lifetime is winning by some distance. It really irks me. Flitcroft, the hoofball merchant. I hate him. He's that bad.
More so than Sheridan, Paul Hart, and Maurice Malpass.
Oh yeah, no, right then he's about. No, I prefer Malpez to.
Oh, fuck off, Ben.
No, I do. I just don't like Flitcroft.
Absolute shambles of a statement that is.
Oh,
No, I prefer Malpez
Jesus.
because Malpez tried to play football.
Did he
Flitcroft just tried to destroy
Did
it.
he fuck? He was anti-football. He was up there with Sheridan.
well-
I remember he brought in players like Coxey and that, didn't he? And there was some quality. There was some quality there. He did find.
Yeah, but the style of football wasn't great, Ben, was it? Jesus Christ.
It was a bit dull, but yeah, right. All right.
Park the bus.
Right, so we had Mark Cooper at
I
41.6%.
love you, Ben.
The next manager is Martin Ling, when he was manager from November 2015 to December 2015. Obviously, that was the short spell before his mental health let him down, bless him. So yeah, higher or lower than Mark Cooper's 41.6%. And we'll start off with you, Nick.
Oh, I think that might be quite high, actually.
This is hard.
Very long.
To give you all a clue, it was 9 games in total that he managed.
52%.
52% from Nick. Okay, 5 feet.
50.5.
50.5. Ned.
56%.
Oh.
Ben, please say 56.1.
I've thought about it. Can you tell me the answer there?
Fucking knob.
Oh, is it me next? Right. Do you know what? I would have gone.
Have you not sussed the order yet, Ben?
No, not at all. It is higher. I'm going 56.1.
Bastard.
Okay.
You're such an ass.
Okay, Mark.
Mark's going to go 55.9.
That's what I was going to do.
It is higher. And I believe, Craig, it's 56.2.
Oh, dear. And finally, down to you, Woody.
I'm going higher, and I must admit, this was the only time I ever got upset about a manager leaving. I am going to shout. I'm going 55.9.
I love it.
So Ned has to be exactly right, as does Ben, to get the points.
Okay, so you all went higher than Mark Cooper's 41.6%, and you were all right. It was higher. Martin Ling's win percentage was 55.6.
Oh,
So Woody gets the bonus point.
Well done, Woody.
yeah, well done, Woody.
My first one was like 53%, and then I went, no, I'm going to shit house this.
Unbelievable scene.
Can we have a quick score update, please, Craig? I don't know how far into it we are.
Yeah, sure. I'll do this round of questions then, and
Okay.
yeah, and then I'll tot up the score. Okay, yeah, only because of who the next manager is. So the next manager is Paolo Di Canio.
Oh.
So he was manager from May 2011 till February 2013. Was his win percentage higher or lower than Martin Ling's 55.6? And we'll start off with you, Fifey.
Oh, fuck off. Lower, but not by much. 54.8. I don't know why I put my hood up for that one, but
Rude boy.
Oh, 5.
I've got the answers you sent me here, Craig.
Just Googling.
What, in my hood?
Go on then, Ned.
I think it's higher. I'm going to go 59.5.
Okay.
It
Ben?
doesn't know I go. Someone's going to shithouse me, aren't they?
I wouldn't
He's
expect
already
anything
nodding.
less. Go on in, Ben.
What was Liggy's?
55.6.
55.6. I'm going lower. And I am
Welcome to the
going.
dark side, Ben.
I'm going 49.1.
Okay, Mark.
Woody.
Tricky. I'm going to
Well, it
go.
wouldn't be much fun if it was easy, Mark.
No. I'm just trying to work out who's best to shit house.
It's best going last, isn't it? It is best going last.
No, I'm going to just go out there and go 52.3%.
Love that. Just something completely rogue in the middle.
Okay, Woody.
59. I've got no idea on this one.
And finally, Nick.
49.5.
Go on, Nick.
Okay, so Martin Lings was 55.6. Fifey, Ben, Mark, and Nick, you all went lower, and you were wrong to do so. It was higher. It was higher, and it was 56.8%.
Paolo.
So
that means that
Woody again.
Woody again, yeah.
Scumbag.
I went really high so I could try and avoid that bonus point.
Do you know it's it opens the door for the rest of us to join him in that final though.
Okay,
What's
so
the scores? What's the scores?
oh yeah, sorry, yeah, go on and chat amongst yourselves while I figure it out.
I mean, it must be said, none of us know how many rounds Craig's actually prepared. So we don't know if we're near the
I've
end.
seen how I've done a lot, but I've seen how time was going, so I might knock the last two on.
Well, we're getting to Burt Head soon.
Yeah, you know what? You know I don't like more than 10, Craig. So if we're doing another 10, then that's it. I'm gonna start drifting.
Right. So starting from last to first. Unfortunately, we haven't treated our new guest too well. Nick, you're in last place with 5.
Solid effort though, Nick.
Yeah. Then it's Ben on 6 points.
You're not far off, Nick, to be fair.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah. Then in joint second place
Ooh.
is Fifey, Ned, and Mark, all on 7 points.
8 points.
And Woody is galloping ahead on 12 points.
Ooh.
King shithouse. Fuck's sake.
I need some big wins.
Right.
How many
so,
more did you have prepared out of interest?
I had 17. I did. So
What number are we on now?
we're on 8. So we're at the halfway
Ooh.
point. So
So
I'll
let's go.
probably
Let's
just
go
do it up to 15, to be honest. So
Good shout.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, you've prepared 17, you're going to go up to 15.
Yeah.
Well, just conscious of time. So I
Yeah,
didn't do the
each one
20 like you did last week, Fifey. So
each one takes about 4 minutes. So
right. So the next manager was Paul Sturrock, who was manager from November 2006 till November 2007. Was he higher or lower than Paolo Di Canio's 56.8%? And we'll start with, I think it was Fifey last time. So we'll start with Ned.
I'll go lower and I'll go 53%.
Okay. Ben?
Lower, and I go 47.
Mark? 47.1, I think.
Bastard. You're busted, you. Set a trend, haven't I?
Woody?
lower 48.2.
Nick?
I'll go lower, 49.1.
Go on, Nick.
And finally, Fifey.
Lower, 49.9.
So much shit housery going on.
All right, so was Paul Sturrock higher or lower than Paolo Di Canio? He was lower, so you've all got a point each.
According to jcarchibald.com.
Alexa, stop. For fuck's sake.
How strong is your accent that Paul Sturrock sounds like Alexa?
Oh, no.
Alexa.
Oh god, that's going to go on the outtakes video that I'm going to do. Okay, so yeah, where was I? So yeah, you all got 1 point each because it was lower, and Fifey, you absolutely shithouse Nick. You did because it was 50%.
Oh, the new guy, 5 feet.
Sorry, Nick, but I really want to be in that final. Hang on, he said like 49.1. I was nowhere near his prediction.
Well, it was the closest, wasn't it? So you still shithoused him. So.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
Nick.
No,
So next up, we got Danny Wilson. He was manager from December 2008 to March 2011. Higher or lower than Paul Sturrock's 50%? And we'll
This
start
is
off
close.
with who did I start off with last time? I'll start off with Woody.
Quite a bit lower, I think. 38.
Okay, Nick.
what was the previous one?
Paul Sturrock,
49.
50%.
47.5.
7.5. Fifey.
Yeah, I think it's actually a lot closer than Woody does.
Well, 47.9.
Nick gets it.
I'm going to go 46.8.
6.8. Ned.
Lower 43.
43.
I like that when Ned sits really close to the camera, he looks like he's just wearing like pajamas.
I'm wearing a piece of shit.
You are.
Don't make anyone feel any better.
So Ben.
I am going for 40.
40. And finally, Mark.
Well, I'm going to go with 44.7% on this one, Craig.
44.7. So for Danny Wilson, higher or lower than Paul Sturrock's 50%? You were all right to go lower. And his win percentage was 35.8%.
Really?
So that means
Woody!
that Woody gets it again, yeah.
Sake, man.
The quiz that nobody wants to win, and Woody's running away with it.
Sake. Where was this
Okay.
like last week?
So next one, we've got Steve McMahon. He was manager
Scumbag.
from December 1994 to September 1998. Was he higher or lower than Danny Wilson's 35.8%? And we'll start off with you this time, Nick.
I didn't see any of these games, so it's a hard one. I would say 41.
Higher and 41. Woody?
Sorry, what was the comparison?
Danny Wilson was 35.8%.
Steve McMahon had a lot of games.
I suggest he won quite a few of them.
Higher 38. Is that higher? 38.
Yeah, that's higher, yeah. Mark?
So, what was the comparison? Just remind me again, Craig. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, Danny Wilson was 35.8.
See, I told you, 10 questions.
35.8. I'm going to go higher, but not by much. 36.3.
Okay, and Ben?
36.2.
Loving your work.
Ned?
I'm going to shit house the shit house. I'm going to say 38.1.
And Fifey?
It's funny because I was going to go 38.3.
Oh, God, no.
Fifey, 38.3. Right, so yeah, Danny Wilson, 35.8%. You were all right to go higher. Steve McMahon's win percentage was 36.8%. So that means that you all get a point, but Mark gets the bonus point.
Hooray!
What am I?
Mark.
That battle at the bottom between Nick and Ben is very exciting.
I know. Wasn't the one I shit house you. That's it. I'm rubbish.
I mean to go on.
Right, so next one is Phil Brown, who was manager for
Fucking hell.
March 2018 to November 2018. Was he higher or lower than Steve McMahon's 36.8%?
Sorry, was it me?
Oh, sorry, I haven't said who's next. Sorry. Woody, you start, mate.
Too busy scratching Echo's chin. Quite a lot lower, I'm going to say. Just on lower, 30%.
30%. Mark?
Higher, 37.2%.
Ben?
Lower 34.
Ned?
Lower 34.1.
Fifey?
Can you tell me the tenure again, please?
Yes, it was 36.8%, Steve McMahon.
That's not what I asked. What was Phil Brown's
How long was he
tenure?
in charge?
Oh, sorry. March 2018 to November 2018.
Fuck, was it really that long?
Completely irrelevant.
Just trying to gauge the amount of games.
Over 2 seasons.
Lower.
Don't forget the pre-season friendlies.
Lower. 27%.
Oh.
Oh, you bastards.
And
Poor
finally,
Phil.
Nick.
I'll go 33.3.
All right, so Mark was the only one to go higher than Steve McMahon's 36.8%, and you were wrong to do so, mate. It was lower, and it was 31.3%, which means that, well, guess who wins the bonus point again?
Woody!
Pretty.
Fucking hell, lads. Pull your fucking finger out, man.
Time for Woody's roundup. He's the very best. Little ode to the Toy Story fans out there.
Boom.
Okay, next up, we've got Colin Todd, who was manager from May 2000 to October 2000. Was he higher? Was he higher or lower than 31.3% for Phil Brown? And we'll start with Mark.
Higher, 32.5%.
Okay, Ben.
Lower 27.
Ned.
Higher 38%.
Fifey.
What was Phil Brown's?
Phil Brown's was 31.3%.
31.4%. I'm now trying to shithouse managers against managers. I'm not even shithousing people against people.
This game should be called Shithouse. Honestly, it really should.
Nick.
I'll go 29.5.
Ooh, didn't rate
He was
Colin
crap.
Todd. Yeah.
He was terrible.
Okay.
He was terrible. So was his son, Andy Todd.
Woody.
He was shite. Yeah, I don't think he even got into.
Woody's going to go like 10%.
I think it's definitely lower. That's definitely a case. Definitely lower. He was awful. I can't even remember any wins under Colin Todd. 2000, wasn't it? So, let's say he was here for 20 games. Let's say no more than 5 wins. 20%. He was shit. 20%.
Not a fan,
Okay.
Woody, no?
No, he was shit. He was awful.
Okay, then. So, Fifey, Ned, and Mark, you all went higher, and you were wrong to do so.
Oh.
It
The
was
thing is,
lower.
that doesn't help anybody because we're all in the battle to face Woody in the final and we're all getting it wrong.
And, it was lower. And guess who was closest again?
Woody!
Woody!
Oh, man.
22.2%, Colin Todd.
No,
Jesus.
I knew
I
was
thought I had it
shit.
with
Rubbish.
27, you know. I thought I got it.
I knew he was really shit. Like, really shit. Fuck's sake, even when I tried to go too low.
Right, so just 2 more questions to go then, lads.
Right.
So we've now got, so Colin Todd was 22.2%. Next one up is Ife Onura, who was manager from September 2005 to May 2006. Was he higher or lower than Colin Todd? And who did I start with last time? Was it Mark? Can't remember.
Yeah, it was.
We'll start off with you, Fifey.
I knew you were going to as well. Do you know what? This one's really hard because, in essence, no manager should be that low a percentage. But I just have a horrible feeling that his is even lower. It can't be lower than 22, surely. I just remember, like, there was one particular program cover of him looking particularly miserable as we've gone about 200 games without a win. Gut instincts, I suppose. Let's go lower. 21.8%. Can't be lower, surely.
Ned?
25%.
Ben?
Who's the manager again?
It's Ife Onura.
Ifianora.
Yeah.
Wake up, Ben.
Big Ron.
I was looking at my phone. Big wrong goes.
Don't look at your phone during the quiz.
Oh no, I wasn't.
Unbelievable.
Oh, gee.
Ned,
Lads,
don't worry.
if I
his
was
phone-
cheating, I'm doing shit at
his
it.
phone obviously is shit as in.
No, I wasn't looking at that. I was checking for the cricket.
Obviously.
I purposely put my phone on charge for these.
23.
23. Okay, Mark.
I'm going to go 22.9.
Oh, you bastard.
Woody.
I think it's higher, but I have no idea how much higher. So I'm just going to go 30.
Well done, Woody, for winning
Nick,
this
go
one.
somewhere near 30.
No,
Nick.
after seeing them lose 7-1 away at Forest, I'm going to go,
I was at that game.
yeah, so
That was me.
So was Nick. Yeah.
1%.
Sorry, I didn't catch that, Nick.
21.
21%.
Oh, you fuck.
I've got to get Bob on to get this one.
All right,
Done
so
again.
Ned, Ben, Mark, and Woody all went higher.
They've got to be right. It can't be lower than 22.
Yeah. And you were correct to do so. It was 25% on the nose. So Ned gets the bonus point.
Bang on. Boosh.
Wasn't Woody. Wasn't Woody.
Hashtag WW wasn't Woody.
Hashtag rock on.
Okay. So the last and definitely least is John Sheridan,
No.
God.
who was manager from November 2020 to April 2021.
How?
Was he higher or lower than Ife Onura's 25%?
I vaguely remember him winning 3 games.
So we'll start with Ben.
Ben's his biggest fan.
Oh, I hate John.
Please just go 0% for Bants, Ben. You're not going to win.
No, I don't want to finish bottom, so I'm going to say 20. He did shit out a few wins. But we didn't draw many. 27.
Goes higher at 27. Mark?
It's definitely higher. I'm just trying to work out which games he won. It's a few. Yeah.
Shouldn't take long.
26.9. Yeah.
Yeah.
26.9.
I thought that'd be right.
Okay, Woody?
It's one of our worst seasons for losses. So, what was Ife's? 25, did you say?
Yeah, 25.
Okay, 23.
Oh.
Nick?
Probably lower. 21.7.
Oh.
Ife?
Right, okay. 24.1.
And Ned?
What did Woody say? 26 point
Woody said 23.
or 23. All right, okay.
Mark said 26.9.
All right, okay.
Ben said 27.
I think that's around about right. That sounds right. Because the thing is, I had to for the Bradford preview that we had to do with Chewy on, I looked at a few percentages and I swear it was around about that. So I'm going to say 27, higher in 27.
Damn it.
Okay, so we had Ife Onura at 25%. John Sheridan, was it higher or lower? So Fifey, Woody, and Nick, you were correct. It was lower. It was 24.2%. So that means Fifey, you get the bonus point.
Well done, Fifey. Incidentally, do you know what Paul Hart is? Because he only won 1 game, didn't he?
I can tell you that now, yeah, if you want.
Yes.
Does anyone want to have a guess for fun?
Paul Hart.
9%.
I'm going 15.
0.8%.
9%.
0.8.
0.8. He only won at half.
Has everyone had a guess?
Nick?
10.
10.
8.95.
So I thought this might come up, but yeah, Paul Hart 9.1%.
1%. Officially the worst Swindon Town manager of all time.
I'll just quickly top those scores up.
Right, just out of interest, while you're
However-
doing that, when you're comparing Paul Hart, could you tell us how he compared to John McGreal?
The legend. It's Swindon Town, John McGreal.
Wow.
The
I
only
believe-
manager to be undefeated.
I believe he won more games than McGreal, but lost considerably more games.
Yeah. One more game. was close, head to head.
He only won one more game with McGrill, though. Only the one.
Oh, quality. That was a great game, though, Craig. Just while you're totting up, thank you. For
that was blinding. That was blinding.
Welcome, guys.
But I'm looking forward to Woody having to defend the Indefensible, no matter who it's against.
I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to defending Indefensible. It's going to be golden. But yeah, I'll do the scores then. So starting from last place.
Oh, come on, Nick. Please have overtaken Ben. Please.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, well,
come on, Nick.
I think Mark has been a complete gentleman and has come in last place with 11 points.
Well done, Mark. Fair play, mate.
I'm so happy about that.
Then next
Defensible.
Next up, we have Ben and Nick, both on 12 points.
Hey, Nick.
Yeah, that'll do.
Then we have Ned on 13 points. So that means that Fifey and Woody are in the final for Defend the Indefensible.
What did Woody get, incidentally?
He got 17.
What did I get?
Jesus.
What did I get?
14.
Oh, I beat Ned by 1.
Yeah, 1 point. Yeah, it's that close.
At last.
I was going to use the poor Hart one as a tiebreaker, but thankfully didn't need that. So, as I said earlier, Defend the Indefensible. I'm going to read a statement, and it's tailored for the individual panelists, and they've got to defend this statement and back it to the hill.
What's my one, John Sheridan?
Oh no, I'll save yours for another time, Ben. So, what we'll do is we'll start with Fifey, as he's currently the runner-up. Right. So, Fifey, and I'll read it as you've got to read it. I'd rather support Oxford than do MMA. It's for losers. Go on, defend it.
I mean, it's obvious, really. Football is the national game of this country, this great country that we live in. I would rather support a football team than... I'm really struggling with this. You're such a bellend. I would rather support a team of the national game and feel part of the national culture than do something which is essentially promoting violence among young people. There's enough of that out in the street, and we don't need it. And therefore, and it's fucking paining me to have to say this, I would rather support Oxford than do MMA.
Yeah.
Brilliant, Fifey. Brilliant.
You just have it.
Have a cold shower, mate.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It wouldn't be Defend the Indefensible otherwise, mate, if it wasn't that excruciating for you. Just wait till you hear Woody's.
Oh, Woody's is going to be something anti-girls football, isn't it?
Yeah, 100% it's going to be anti-women. And then you're going to take a clip and it's going to go all over social media, completely out of context.
Back pages, Woody slates female.
So just to clarify for people who are listening and watching, Woody doesn't actually believe this. Fifey didn't believe
You didn't fucking clarify that for me.
Yeah, Fifey is an Oxford fan and has a yellow False Wrestling shirt to prove it.
Okay, are you ready, Woody?
No.
Okay then. Women's football is boring, and I wish we could go back to the 1960s when it was banned.
To be fair, the game is so ridiculously slow. The coaches need to sort themselves out, really. If you're a boys' coach, if you're a man coach in the women's game, you're just a pervert. You're just. There's no point watching boring football stuff. You see women trying to play the hard game. Their keepers are shit. They can't catch anything. I don't see the point in it myself. They should just rule it out. Women's Euros, nobody even knows about it. I've got a Minion sticker book. I don't care about the Women's Euros. It's. I just don't see the point in it. No, it's really boring to watch, really slow. BBC giving it way too much coverage. And to be honest, it's only something that Christian would watch. So.
Oh,
brilliant.
I bow to you there, Woody. That's superb.
I just love it if your new director of football just turned on at that point.
Well,
I'm just gonna send a disclaimer through to the group chat now.
Well, they were both brilliant, but I'll have to give the win to Woody for coming up with every unfair stereotype in women's football that I've heard in my life. So yeah, that was brilliant, mate. And well done to Fifey. That was a very close.
So to clarify, on my own podcast, you've made me say that I would rather support Oxford and still didn't give me the win.
Yes.
To be fair,
Fucking done over here.
To be fair-
I've not presented
to be
a
fair
quiz
to you,
again, I'll
Mikey,
tell you that.
Woody's
I
just
actually-
handed his resignation.
I actually think yours was, mine was easier, to be fair, just because, like Craig said, there are so many stereotypes I've heard. That's all I went through my head was like, right, what have people insulted women's football about? Just rabbing it all off.
Yeah, see, even he said mine was harder to do.
Yeah. No, and that's it, and that's the So Woody wins the quiz, and
Well done, Woody.
well done, mate. And I'll
listen,
hand the reins back over to you, Fifey.
Craig, firstly, thanks again. That was very fun. I think we will definitely be making Defend the Indefensible a more prominent feature within the podcast.
Absolutely.
I have to also say, Nick, thank you very much for your time tonight. It's been an excellent debut. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on again.
Yeah, enjoyed it. Thanks very much.
Congratulations to Woody. Ned, enjoy Charlton.
Yeah.
And of course, Ben and Mark, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, as always, for whether you've watched, listened, subscribed, commented on our various socials. We appreciate every bit of feedback, comment, content we get. It means a lot to us to know that someone out there is watching or listening. And the last thing for me to say to all you gentlemen and the rest of the panelists, I look forward to seeing you at the weekend for our sort of post-season / pre-season pod night out in Swindon. It should be a right laugh. But from me and from everyone else at Fools Rush In, goodbye.
Fifey's on his way to Oxford.